If there is anything I missed from Disney Channel before the 2020s, it's the amount of holiday crossover specials, and this one is free right here on YouTube from the official Disney Channel page. This is Good Luck Jessie NYC Christmas, a crossover between Jessie and Good Luck Charlie. You know how old this makes me feel? The baby that played Charlie is apparently a teenager now. Some streamer did a mini Good Luck Charlie reunion. I was wondering who this random teenage girl was until I realized, oh, that's Mia, who played Charlie in the original. Don't you love it when you get reminded that your childhood was a lot further back than you thought it was? In terms of crossovers, this one had drawn some criticisms for the uneven treatment of the cast, something that's a bit of a pattern with Jessie crossovers. We open at the Duncan house where they are decorating the tree. Amy and Bob are having a scheme where Charlie will tell Santa her gift so that they can buy it. Thanks for procrastinating, but let's be honest, most people procrastinate their Christmas gifts shopping anyways because it sucks and Black Friday deals aren't what they used to be. And, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Teddy Duncan has apparently gone into NYU. Perhaps this is where she'll end up becoming a space CEO. Naturally, Charlie and her mother argue over who gets to have Teddy's room. So, just out of curiosity, do people actually bid on their siblings' room like this? Rowan and I always shared a room. In fact, my entire family basically slept in the same room, mainly because when it gets cold, it's easy to just turn on the heating unit and just have that go in that room. Or when it gets really hot, it's easier to just AC one room rather than just have the whole house AC running at the same time. So, yeah, we're that type of cheapskate. In fact, my parents to this day claim that I was responsible for the let's all sleep in the same room thing, mainly because I was 5 and I was apparently being taught how to be cheap. That or my parents are just messing with me. Okay, so NYU wants an answer here and now, but Teddy wants to see the place because it's not the 2020s and the campus doesn't have a free virtual 3D tour of the place. But, well, there needs to be an adult with her because she's still a minor. Well, PJ's an adult by this time in the series, so they'll be gone on Christmas Eve. Gabe ain't too happy about that since PJ leaving means that the only competent cook in the house has left. I really like this opening credits sequence using the Christmas card styles. What I don't like is the mashup between Good Luck Charlie's Hang in There Baby and Jessie's Hey Jessie, since I absolutely despise Jessie's opening theme because there really is no... let's just say it uses volume instead of nuance, and Hang in There Baby does actually have a good, catchy theme rather than just shouting. Also, this image at the end is a lie. Lies! So in New York City, PJ wants to visit George's Kraut Dog. Teddy leaves. She questions why PJ would want to be at a hot dog stand when they're in New York City. Probably to save money on the budget. Probably considering that Jessie has had a crossover with Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm sure the Shitori are bound to bombard the city in the name of Thanos very soon. And back in Denver, Charlie apparently circumvents Amy and Bob's plan by just whispering into Santa Claus's ear and not telling Bob. Worse, Santa has swapped out with another Santa, so, no present. Teddy's also going in the wrong direction. PJ meets up with Skylar again. She's basically another character that is from the earlier seasons of Good Luck Charlie, who had to leave because the actress had to be on another show, but that show didn't do so hot, so she's back. Back in Denver, in the Duncan household, Amy says, "Fine, I'll do it myself." Meanwhile, Teddy meets Jessie and Zuri. After preventing Zuri from stealing someone's lasagna, Jessie wants to run lines with Teddy because Jessie still has her whole failed actress career going on. In Denver, Amy gets escorted out by an elf. Meanwhile, PJ gets his relationship rekindled with Skylar because, as the Kraut guy puts it, Skylar is going to school in Denver, and PJ lives in Denver. In the subway scene, Zuri does the goodwill on Earth speech, and then tries to rip open someone for lasagna. They still sing Christmas carols, so I guess it's all fine and dandy. So after Bob tries to dress up as Santa, he tries to get it out of Charlie, but she doesn't exactly reveal the gift, and she sees through the ruse pretty easily. But hey, Amy is all calm, which scares Bob a bit. So the snowstorm locks Teddy and PJ in New York, but hey, Jessie gave her the number, so, well, they're going to stay over at the Rosses. So Charlie gets her dollhouse. Amy and Bob think Santa came early. Gabe, in my favorite joke of the special, says that he was the one who got the dollhouse because he actually spends time with Charlie. The joke is that Gabe has actually grown a heart and is finally an actual older sibling and not just the jealous middle child he's been pigeonholed into. That or Gabe likes Charlie now because I think, if I remember correctly, Charlie began taking after Gabe a lot and actually began getting Amy's ego, which, to be fair, that is interesting, and I think this would be a great plot for a sequel series, although I don't think Mia would actually reprise her role because she's probably off doing other things. I don't know, probably being an actual teenager. Meanwhile, with the Ross kids, they're preparing for Christmas by being brats, especially Zuri, who has gotten an extra long stocking to test her luck with Santa. You know, if it was any other set of children on a Disney Channel sitcom that weren't for Ross's, I'd probably like this joke a lot more. Jessie is setting up a Christmas treasure hunt. Her whole thing is apparently her father always hid her gifts mainly because you don't get anything without working for it in life. To which Luke would later say, except presents, that's the whole point, and I'm agreeing with Luke, and I am never in agreement with a Ross kid, so God help me. Speaking of Luke, the moment he ends up seeing Teddy, he ends up trying to flirt with her. So we cut to the morning. The place is destroyed, the presents are missing, everyone has amnesia. It turns out Ravi did the amnesia gas thing, and a reindeer was here. So the boys end up finding treasure hunt details, while the girls head for the security footage. And Zuri wants to turn Jessie into torn wrapping paper because, Jessie was the one who took the presents. They end up finding a receipt for the ice rink and head to the ice rink. Apparently, Jessie locked Bertram in a locker. And the kids mug Bertram. Then they return the reindeer, and Teddy and Zuri narrowly avoid arrest. And, that reindeer was part of a holiday toy drive thing. And, oops. Their lead singer also ended up getting mugged and losing his voice, so double oops. So the kids discuss, and it has been decided that they will not only donate their presents, but they will also have Jessie sing. A minute of music later, and at the end, we finally get context as to why everyone was passed out and the entire place was destroyed. After Jessie hid the presents, apparently Prancer went on a rampage, and Luke and Ravi tried to concoct a serum in order to tranquilize Prancer, but instead it got turned into a vapor, and everyone started passing out. The end. If there's anything to describe this special, it's uneven. It's probably the biggest criticism of this special, because it feels like a Teddy PJ guest appearance on a Jessie Christmas special, rather than it does feel like an actual crossover with both casts interacting. It honestly feels like the Good Luck Charlie portions were heavily lacking because they were just there to pad out this special's runtime in order to make it fit into an hour block on Disney Channel. It doesn't help that in the first half, PJ is really absent. He is just at the Kraut Dog set with Skylar, who doesn't appear for the rest of the special, which would have been interesting to see her again, but whatever. And then there's the subway scene with Jessie, Zuri, and Teddy. It feels like such a bottle show. Like, if you partitioned this into a two-parter and put this as part one and had this be labeled Good Luck Charlie, this feels like just a Jessie guest appearance. I'm also annoyed at the ending performance, though it was only a minute long besides the credit sequence. I'm surprised it's not a duet between Jessie and Teddy, considering Debbie Ryan and Bridget Mendler both sing. I mean, they sing their respective theme songs. Was the theme song mashup just an excuse to not have Bridget sing? I guess. And in terms of missed opportunities, not seeing the bratty Ross kids share scenes with the egotistical Amy Duncan and the bumbling Bob Duncan was a massive missed opportunity. This could have been chaotic fun in so many ways. It certainly beats Zuri spending the second half of the special saying Denver's a podunk hill town or how people in Denver find electricity to be a novelty. Yeah, this is my problem with Zuri and the Ross kids in particular. In season 1, Zuri saying these remarks probably would have been head shaking, but a little kid saying them probably had some level of comedy, I guess. However, this is like Jessie's third season and Good Luck Charlie's fourth season, or is it the other way around? It really doesn't matter. Point is, Zuri is no longer the endearing little girl, she's just another bratty jerk in a family of bratty jerks. Honestly, this is my problem with Jessie season 3 and 4, because it overemphasizes the brattiness of the Ross kids, and it makes them worse for the wear. Just from reverse birth order, I guess. Zuri, she's like I said, she's just stopped being endearing and is now just abrasive. Then there is Ravi, who is not abrasive, but he has such an insufferable ego about how he's better than everyone else and how he's a freaking weakling. And it's just not funny to watch. It's just watching someone act better than everyone else. Plus, I think his Indian accent got worse. It was never good to begin with, but honestly, I think it just fell apart completely by seasons 3 and 4, and especially by Bunch. In terms of Luke, he's now gross and lecherous, but those traits got played up a lot. And Emma, honestly, Emma's just a jerk. She's the dumb blonde stereotype in a Disney Channel show. It's hard to say anything bad about her, mainly because you can't say anything bad about her without saying anything bad about the other blonde jerks who love fashion on Disney Channel. Really wish they did half of this in New York, where the cast could interact there, and then half in Denver, which is odd. Because they did this setup for the Austin Alley New Year special crossover with Jessie. Half of it was in New York, half of it was in Miami, and basically they got to play up the setting for both of them. If there's any word for me to describe this, I'd say it's, padded. In that the Good Luck Charlie parts are just diluting something that really should not have been stretched out to a special. Either stretch it out to an actual special that incorporates both casts pretty well, or really just keep it as a guest star appearance and not a crossover. And that's probably why this bothers me. It's treated like a crossover when it's really just a PJ Teddy guest appearance. Those are my thoughts on this special. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.